Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I am the senior minister here at the Oasis, and we are so blessed to have you with us today. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're really blessed that you're here with us. And so let me introduce, we are without Oz today, so I guess I'm the practitioner of the day. And so I usually at this point introduce the wonderful team that God has blessed me with. So let me introduce my assistant, Faith, my faithful assistant, Faith, because she's the only one here today. Oh, Faith has been my assistant since the day she was born. Her dad used to run sound for us, and when she was first born, she would hang out at the sound table, and then when she learned to crawl, she always kept crawling up onto the stage. So we just put her up on the podium and she would do the announcements with me. It was perfect. I think people paid more attention to the announcements then than they ever had before. So she really helped me in that respect. And then later she and her sister became like ushers and handed out affirmation cards after the service. So, excuse me. She grew up like 6 blocks from my house. And when she was 14 and a half years old, she said, I want a real job. So I hired her for my business. And then when we went online during COVID, she was my assistant here at church as well. So she's been with me almost 6 years doing that. But she grew up like 6 blocks away from my house. So, she pretty much has been raised with me. And we have now determined I am her godmother now. When her parents first asked me, I was like, that means I have to take care of the kids if something happens to you. And I can't do that. And so now that she's 19 and Hannah's about to be 18, I think it's safe for me to be godmother. We just recently decided that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. Anyway, Faith is the one behind the scenes who does everything. I can't multitask when I'm speaking. So she answers you when you say hi, good morning, hello. And if you have any questions, she can answer most of them. I always go back and look later to see. She knows me better than I know myself. So I always go back and look and just make sure that there isn't something that I need to add. But for the most part, it is Faith doing all the work. And so I can just be free to just sit here and talk, which is what I do best, right? Okay, so she's also our singer, and today we're going to be doing Gifts of the Goddess by Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver.
Karen
No?
Drucker.
Oh, it's a Karen Drucker song?
Yeah.
No wonder I couldn't find the lyrics. That's so funny. I was like trying to find lyrics for it by Elaine Silver. Okay, that makes more sense, actually.
Yeah.
Because Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, being a little fairy as she was, she built her whole career doing fairy stuff, did a whole CD of goddess stuff. And so that's why I just assumed it came from that. Oh, well, anyway. So she's going to be doing Gifts of the Goddess from Karen Drucker this morning. So thank you for being here, Faith. We love you. I couldn't do this without you. So thank you for being here. And if you're here, please say hi, hello, good morning. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here. But with this software, I get a number. That's all I know. So we appreciate it when you say that. I also want to introduce our topic today. I named it Gifts because of the song. But in reality, I'm going to be doing the energy of life, which is a gift from the goddess or God or the divine source, however you want to put that. And I also like to mention our adjunct music team because we couldn't do this without them. Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver is one that has asked us to do her music, and Karen Drucker has gifted us with all of her library. And so it allows us to actually do a service in the service instead of just me talking for an hour. And so I always like to acknowledge the two of these ladies as our adjunct music team. They don't appear on camera. They just provide music, which is a big deal. There is a watch party button if you would like to invite your friends. It's a great way for them to see what kind of Sunday service they can expect. And you can talk amongst yourselves without bothering anybody. So click that watch party button and ask all your friends to join us. All right, close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Right now, I just tune into the infinite power, the infinite presence of God that I know is right here, right now, operating through this service. I know that all who are here hear the message, that God is what shares the message and God is what hears the message. And so I bless this service. I just know that it is powerful for everyone listening. As I carry this blessing forward, I give thanks for it and I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. All righty. So if you're here, say hi, hello, good morning. Just let us know that you're here. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here. This software only gives me a number. So I really appreciate knowing who's here. If you like something, use that thumbs up button. If you love something, send us hearts. We love to get hearts. And if something strikes you as really powerful, by all means, use that wow button, because that really gives us some good feedback and lets me know that I'm on track as I'm speaking. All right, this next song is by Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, and is one that she wrote when she was in practitioner training. And it's such a wonderful remembrance that we are connected to all of life. It's called We Are All One.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
All right. Again, say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. If you're stopping by later, just say hi, just drop a note. Let us know you were here. But before anything else, we got one more music. I love to do a lot of music because I think music opens the heart, which then opens the mind. So God's message is very clearly understood and felt and known. So we're going to move into faith singing, "The Gifts of the Goddess" by by Karen Drucker.
Yeah. These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess? Love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive? Love, are you ready? Are you ready? Peace. Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace? Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive love? Are you ready? Are you ready? Joy. Are you ready? Are you ready? Peace. Are you ready? Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace? Talk about gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive compassion? I am ready. Forgiveness. I am ready. Laughter. I am ready. I am ready to receive. Passion. I am ready. Success. I am ready. Abundance. I am ready. I am ready to receive. These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Talk about gifts of the goddess. Are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace? Talk about gifts of the goddess. Are you ready to receive? I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to receive. Yes, I am ready to receive. Oh, I am ready to receive. All the gifts all the gifts, all the gifts, all the gifts.
Thank you, dear.
Oh. Yeah, Missy decided she wanted to sing along in the beginning too.
Yeah, I know. The bird sings along with you too.
We love our animals. They make this so much more fun.
All right. Good thing one of the gifts from the goddess is laughter.
Right? Right? Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. So, as I said, I called this gifts, but really I want to talk about the energy of life. And it's kind of appropriate. So what happens to me sometimes is I'm just really uninspired. So I'll say to Faith, what do you want to sing today? And I'll do a sermon on that. And she picked the gifts of the goddess. And really, we don't teach that God is a female or male. So speaking about goddess stuff is not really appropriate here. Other than to say that the goddess traditions that existed before Christianity was an agricultural community, and they really believed in the vibration of the plants and the vibration of the animals and everything being connected. And so as I begin to talk about the energy of life today, it's appropriate that we talk about the goddess energy that was there. So I think that this is a very fitting topic for spring, because everything's starting to bloom, and everything, like all the trees are starting to get their little leaf buds. And as I look at that, I remember how connected we are. It's just an odd thing that I see those tree buds and I think, wow, I'm one with the tree. You know, it's just crazy like that. But we really don't quite fully understand that energetic connection sometimes. There's this movie called Powder. I don't know how many of you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, it is an excellent movie. Definitely go to see it or rent it. I don't think you can go see it anymore. You have to rent it now. I actually bought a copy of it because it was so powerful for me. Powder is this kid that when he's in the womb, his mom gets hit by lightning. And he comes out as an albino, but not just an albino. I mean, his skin looks like ghost white, powder white. That's where he gets his name from, because it looks like he has powder on his skin. And because she was hit by lightning, he has this extraordinary power where he can experience what other people are experiencing. And so the doctor tells him that the fetus experiences everything that the mother experienced during birth, and it kind of freaks out the father. So he runs away because he's like, I don't know. It made him kind of crazy, I guess. The idea that the fetus was experiencing being hit by lightning. Anyway, he runs away, and so Powder ends up living with his grandmother and grandfather all of his life. First his grandmother dies, then his grandfather dies, and he's left all alone in this house. And the sheriff and deputies find him, and they bring him to this director for a home for lost boys. And they take him into this facility, and he has a significant friendship with the director and the design teacher that he meets at the school. And he finds that he's really unable to connect in any way with the other boys, but he's able to connect with this director and the teacher. And that's because he's very different, not just because he's an albino, but because of the powers he seems to have, that they know, they're frightened of him, and they're unable to admit that they're frightened of him. So they just shoo him and make fun of him and all those other things. Have you ever noticed how boys do that? They're so afraid of their feelings that they act all tough and, push people away. Anyway, several interesting things happen in the movie that caught my attention. One is that he can feel what other people are experiencing. And so what happens is he comes upon this deputy and a bunch of boys shooting, hunting. And they shoot this doe, and he says something to the deputy, and the deputy says, oh, that twitching is just the nerves dying. The suffering is minimal if you know what you're doing. And so Powder, knowing that that's not true, Powder says, really, let me show you something. He takes the hand of the deputy and he puts it on the heart of the doe, and the deputy begins to feel everything that the doe is experiencing as a result. And he's twitching and he's feeling the pain and he's feeling all of these feelings. So he gives up all of his guns and swears off hunting for the rest of his life. And then once the sheriff realizes that Powder has this ability, he takes him home to meet his wife. She's in the process of dying from cancer, and they seem to be unable to get her to make that transition. She keeps hanging on. And so he takes the hand of the woman and he takes the hand of the sheriff, and he allows them to feel each other and experience what each other is experiencing. And he finds out that the reason she has not made her transition is because he and his son have issues and they haven't made up. They haven't spoken for years or whatever. And so he goes off to find the son and makes amends with him and comes back, and then she's finally able to make her transition. But that's what was keeping her alive. And so it allows him the opportunity to actually resolve all of this before she makes her transition, which is kind of cool. I wish we all could do that. Can you imagine how little violence there would be in the world if we had that ability? In the meantime, the science teacher is doing an experiment with a Jacob's ladder. You know what that is? It's where you have this like bulb thing and there's electricity going on inside. And when you move your hand over it, it like sparks, you know, it starts jumping around. Well, that's a Jacob's ladder. And all of a sudden the electricity jumps out of this thing at Powder and attacks him. And so the science teacher is trying to unplug the thing. And in the meantime, he gets shocked and he says that, you know, he's running around like he's high, like he was 18 years old again. And he has more ideas, more focus, better sex than he's had in the last 10 years. And it wouldn't be possible if we were not already made of the same energy as lightning and as electricity. Interesting, right? When I was volunteering at the acupuncture clinic all those years, allergy acupuncture clinic, one of the things we were working on was reversing the aging process. Now, she was really doing it as a source of income. I don't think it really was important to her because she was 29 at the time. So she didn't have any aging difficulties yet. But what she did is she programmed this laser wand to be able to reverse aging. And she was using it because she wanted to see less wrinkles on people's faces. So they would come in 2 or 3 times a week. I don't remember exactly. They would come in 2 or 3 times a week. We would use the laser wand on them. And then we would chart where the wrinkles were and that kind of thing. In the meantime, they were also doing this was it Tai Chi? No, it was a yoga thing. We spun around, you know, you have your arms out like this. You spun around. I think it was the opposite way, not clockwise, but counterclockwise, if I remember right. And then you do these yoga poses rapidly. And that also was supposed to reverse aging. But she got very focused on the physical aspects of it. And what people were reporting when we would interview them once a week is that they were reporting that they felt younger, they had more energy, they knew their brain was working better. All of that was operating in the background. And of course, she was more focused on the wrinkles. So we ended up stopping doing it because they weren't showing any results. She was going to patent the idea, and obviously it didn't work out. She moved to New Zealand right before she turned 30, because in New Zealand, they only allow you to come over there if you're under 30 and are doing something that no one else is doing. So her allergy acupuncture was something nobody was doing in New Zealand. Or you can go there after 30, but you have to have $1 million in the bank because they don't want you living off of their Social Security program, which makes sense. But if people would actually understand, if we as a human doing this would actually understand that we are made of energy. Energy is everything that we are made of. Energy is what anything is made of. We would understand that all of the things that we were doing were changing things on an energetic level, not necessarily changing the physical structure, but changing our vibration to be that of a younger person, right? I thought that was kind of cool personally, but I wasn't trying to patent the idea. So the science teacher asked if you've ever read any Einstein, and how there's no, he says, no, I haven't. I haven't read any Einstein. He says, well, Einstein believed in life after death only because energy can never cease to exist. It transforms, but it doesn't die. And if we ever get to the point where we use all of our brain, we'd be pure energy. We wouldn't even need our bodies. Now think about it. If you could use 100% of your brain, I think that that's going to happen maybe another 1,000 years. Right now, most of us use about 10%, less than 10% of our brain power. I think it's like 8%. There was a movie that came out about Eve, who was using 100% of her brain. And it was so fascinating. I've talked about, we have something like 400 thoughts a minute, and how it's only productive, it only creates if we have a preponderance of our thoughts in a certain direction. Because if all of our thoughts were created, things would, like it'd be here, then it'd be gone, then it'd be here. Because I don't know about you, but I do. I really want something. Oh, no, I don't want that. Yeah, I really do want that. No, I don't want it. Can you imagine creating a world every time you had a thought? Well, Eve did that. And so you saw on the screen what it was like for somebody to create an entire world by thought and then uncreate it. And that's how our life would be if we were using 100% of our brain. So this kid is probably only using 50 to 90% of his brain, but look what he was able to accomplish using it. And much later, the science teacher says to him, it's become appallingly clear that our technology has surpassed our humanity. He says that Einstein, he says we have it within our scope of experience to have that same ability to tap into the resources, managing and extracting what we need without using electrical devices or anything else to convert energy. But until we reach that evolution, it's okay to use the technology, right? Whatever energy stimulation we need to use to get the light therapy some people were working on. But at the moment, it's okay to use that kind of energy as a supplement to prayer, not an exclusive, but as a supplement to prayer. We're not one of those religions that says, you can't go to the doctor. We say we believe in a pill and a prayer. And that's because we do know that energetically we can change things in prayer. But sometimes it takes us a bit to do that. But also we believe that same energy that is in us is in those doctors' hands. And so why would we refuse something that God has provided us in the form of an energy that is able to help us, right? In the meantime, we pray and we make sure that, prayer, meditation, affirmations, all of that stuff are going along with what the doctor's doing. So the teacher says, I might look at you and I think someday our humanity might actually surpass our technology. But I say this will only happen if we use our technology to improve our potential, not to make our lives comfortable, to keep ourselves more beautiful or to keep us alive. And that's what Dawn was trying to do. She was trying to get people to look younger. And when I looked at what she was doing, I was working for, or volunteering for, I should say, when I was doing all of that. So I kind of understood that on some level that at that point, that our attention had been focused on the physical symptoms of aging rather than on the energetic evolution of the person as a human doing. And when I started to realize that, I found this company called EMC Squared. And one of the things that Dawn and I did, we purchased this table. So just so you know, the allergy acupuncture works this way. So we had little vials that were energetic signatures of every thing on earth. Hey, buddy, sometimes it was food. Sometimes it was allergens in the air. Sometimes it was chemicals or something like that. And so people would come in and we'd put the vial in their hand and we would muscle test kinesiology. And if it was strong, that meant this substance wasn't bothering them. But if it was weak, that meant we needed to treat them for it. And so we would, with the vial in their hand, we would go ahead and we would thump. I used to call it a thumper. We would thump down the spine to activate the energy points along the spine, the nerves that went to the energy points. And then we would use a vibrating machine that stimulated those acupuncture points. So there was like one here and one here. We'd go through the body with them. Anyway, then the person would take that out of their hand, wash their hands. They had to hold it like 15 minutes after that. They would wash their hands, and then they would avoid that substance for 25 hours. And so we had this one client. Well, first of all, we bought this table. And the table allowed us, because when we first started doing it, we had 2 rooms, and we could do 1 client every 15 minutes in 2 rooms. So we could do 2 clients every 15 minutes. So that gave us 8 clients an hour, I think it was. So we bought this table, and you would lay the person on the table, and you put the vials in this little cup, and you would start the machine, and the machine would do this energetic flow of the substance. And we were able to see 100 clients a day that way. It was pretty cool that we were able to do that because they didn't have to stay on it for very long. It was like, I think 5 or 6 minutes. And so it got them in and out of there very quickly. And so when I found this company called EMC Squared, that was basically their philosophy as well. Only they didn't have you on a table. They would do it from somewhere else. And you would send them a picture of yourself, and they would energetically transmit the vibration of all these different things, and not necessarily allergens. Their technology was about improving your quality of life. So they would beam viruses, bacteria, stuff like that, the energetic frequencies, and it would bounce back if nothing took hold. And if it took hold, then they would use their machine to treat it. And that's kind of what we do we have a GB4000 radio frequency machine that is based on Rife codes, and it works the same way, that you're sending out this vibration or this frequency of a virus, bacteria, parasite, fungus, mold, whatever. And we do this based on the Zyto reports that we have you get from Acacia. And the Zyto report is the biofeedback. So it beams like 100,000 different frequencies at you. And the only ones that are measurable are the ones that are actually in your body. So if you have that virus, then we treat it with a radio frequency machine based on Rife codes. Now, all of this is energetic medicine, right? It's not the kind of medicine where you take a pill. It's not the kind of medicine where you set a bone. It is energetic medicine. Now, we don't practice medicine at our office. We just do the functionary part of it. We stick them in the machine. Acacia tells us what they need to be treated for. We stick them in the machine, but it's all done energetically. And that is so powerful when you really get that. Like this little girl that we had at the allergy acupuncture clinic, she was 18 months old. And she had to have a feeding tube because every time she ate something, she would throw up. In her entire life, she was not able to eat anything. And so when she came to us, she had a feeding tube. And we did the muscle testing on her mother while she was holding her daughter. And we found out that she was allergic not only to every food that ever went in, but also to her own digestive juices. And so it took us 6 months to complete her treatment. But we would do, because with a kid, you can't do all the organ systems at once because she couldn't not eat for 25 hours, right? So each organ system, I think, it's based on Chinese medicine. Each organ system is active for like, I think, 3 hours. So we were meeting there morning, noon, and night, basically over a 6-month period. And she would go without food for 3 months. Well, by the time we got done with her after 6 months, the feeding tube was out. She was able to eat properly. Nothing was happening to her. Dawn ended up on Channel 2 morning show. And we had a full article on the front page of the Denver Post. So we became very busy with our schedule, which is why we had to get the table. And so I tell you all of this because I want you to understand that energetically, we are the same as the virus. We are the same as the bacteria. We are the same as the table we are the same as, right? Everything is energetically connected and all is energy. So when we do prayer, for example, our form of prayer is called spiritual mind treatment because we are treating our mind to vibrate at the frequency of God's mind, which means God knows nothing about poverty. God knows nothing about hatred. God knows nothing about disease. God only knows abundance, prosperity, love, and health. Okay. So if we can get our mind to vibrate at the frequency of those things, it just takes a minute for our world to change. But you have to understand that we can only process that at the level of our acceptance of it. So, for example, if I have something in my subjective mind, you hear me talking about the subjective mind all the time. If I have something in the subjective mind that bounces back any of the material from our meditation, our affirmations, our spiritual mind treatment, our visioning, if there's something in our subjective mind that says that's not possible, it's going to take time for us to process it, to be able to receive that, right? And so it's not that there's any time in God, there's only time in us. We have to process that energetically and get to the point where we are ready to receive it. So I'm illustrating to you what the energy of life is all about. It is about us having a perfect world. It is about us creating a perfect world for ourselves. It is about us sitting in the energy of life. And, when we do visioning, I talk a lot about the process to get to, from believing that things are done to us to believing that we can do something to the spiritual laws of the universe or to God or to divine presence, whatever you want to call it. And then there is the as us, or through us, I'm sorry. Through us is the next one, because you can't have that. God can't provide anything that God can't do through us, okay? And the last one is as us. Now, if you could 100% allow yourself to understand that you are pure energy, that everything that happens to you is pure energy, that all you have to do is energetically be open to receive that which you expect, and clear your body of anything that is unlike that. Clear your consciousness, your subjective mind of anything that is unlike that. If you could focus your attention there for 100% of the time, then it would be as us. You would not have to do prayer. You wouldn't have to do affirmations. You wouldn't have to do meditation, because you'd have a thought and it would create. You see, we have those filters in place there because we can't have our consciousness creating, now it's here, now it's gone, now it's here, now it's gone. We can't live that kind of life until we reach that point in our spiritual development where we can allow each thought to be creative. So that's what this is about. Life is energy, and this is the energy of life that I'm talking about. And everything in our world is energy. So let's do that this week, can we? Can we just focus our attention on knowing that we are pure energy and everything in the world is pure energy, and that's how we're connected to it, and that the reality that we wish to experience is energy too. And so we are living in a reality now where we are experiencing prosperity, love, health. We are experiencing those things right now because our energetic level has reached that vibration of that, and God is operating as us. Let's have a prayer. I just right now turn my awareness to the infinite power, the infinite presence of God that is beyond our human understanding. Place within me that vibrates at that frequency of God. For that is who and what I am. My very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. Every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that is God within me. I know the same truth to be so for the team that God has provided, for Karen and for Elaine and for Oz, and for Faith, and for Tina, and for Lynn. For we are one in that frequency. We are one in that energy. All of that energy flows through us equally. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through us, because God flows through us. So I know that same truth to be so for anyone watching, whether that's in real time or later on. Because I do know that same energetic impulse, that energetic vibration, moves through every person on the face of the planet, and even beyond to beings we don't know about yet. Because everything is that energetic vibration. Mitaku Allison, all my brethren, we are related. We are all one. So I bless this coming week with an awareness of not only that connection, but how that energy flows through us to create the reality we live in. That all we need to do is tap into that energy of the life that we wish to have. Because energy meets energy and combines to create that reality. I bless this coming week with those experiences, that we become aware and conscious of those energetic connections, and we feel that energy flowing through us. As I bless this coming week, I also bless all the names that are in the ministry of prayer right now. Because I do know that whatever condition they are experiencing, God is the answer. God is the absolute support system for the opposite of those conditions. So I pull back the veil right now, revealing that as the truth of their being, here and now. I call it good and very good, as my heart just fills with gratitude to know it is so, to be of service in this world. And so I just let it be. And so it is.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice, spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice, the spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the hearts, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. We are the hearts, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
Thank you, Faith. That makes a very smooth transition. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. This is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to give thanks for that which you have already received in the form of physical, like money or whatever. Whatever it is that you've been asking for and you have already received. This is your point to take gratitude, to feel gratitude for that. It's also your opportunity to feel gratitude for those things that you have created in the mind of God energetically, but have not yet experienced in the physical reality. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org, at which time there's like an affirmation that's about 2/3 down the page. And then underneath that is a Contribute Now button. So let me just talk about Contribute Now real quickly. When you're contributing, you are not contributing to rent. Obviously, we don't have a facility or utilities or any of the expenses that come along with a facility. What you are contributing to is our vision and our mission. We have a global vision that the world is healed. That's our vision. And our mission is that we take it one person at a time. We heal the world one person at a time. And so when you do your contribution, that's what you're contributing to, is the marketing that gets us to that point. We already have people watching from, the UK. We're supposed to call it the UK. Germany and the Netherlands, which is actually Holland, but they want to be called the Netherlands. But you're contributing to us getting out into the world further than that. And actually reaching more people in those 3 countries as well. And people in the United States. We're not, exclusively out in the international community. We would really like to be international, meaning the United States and everywhere else. So that's what you're contributing to. So right now, whether you're watching in real time or later on, please go to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page, click on that offering affirmation, or not click on it. Look at that offering affirmation and say it with me. Good Lord. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. Hit that Contribute Now button and help us reach our mission and vision, please. All right. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast who pray on those requests, those prayer requests every day for a week. So if you would like prayer for something, please put it in the comment section. If you don't want it to be public, you can DM Faith, and she will make sure that it gets into our prayer list for our God Squad. That's what we call our licensed practitioners that serve on our ministry of prayer, is the God Squad. I just love that name. We've been the God Squad for, almost 20 years now. It's a really nice name, I think, personally, but that's my personal opinion. Also, the licensed practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. You reach out to them. We're updating the website now to include all the practitioners that are serving other communities at the same time that they serve our community. And so you'll be able to click on that and get directly to them eventually. Right now, it's probably better to do it on Facebook, but you can go to the website to see these people and get a feel for who they are, to see which ones you want to reach out to. Then you would reach out to them, let them know that you would like a session for spiritual guidance, and they will let you know how to pay for it. Each practitioner has their own business, so I don't get involved in it. Could be PayPal, could be Venmo, could be Cash App, could be Wise. And then they will reach out to you at the appointed time by video chat. So take advantage of these services that these practitioners offer, because it is so nice to have someone who can see the spiritual truth for you until you can see it for yourself, right? And that's what practitioners do. All right. The first thing is Brooks and Bailey. And this is their mala beads. It's excellent quality. This is an amethyst one. This one's $60, but they have other gemstones that are $30 and up. And all of the benefits go to the lab rescue, Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. It's a really worthy cause. And you can reach them through Brooks and Bailey 0307 at Gmail, or here on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. I try to make sure that I share the events that they share when they have like a booth at one of the events. All right, here, Faith.
And please check out my metaphysical shop. The website no longer works. However, you still can order by DMing us through Instagram or Facebook. And we have intention jars and bath salts to help focus whatever you are working on. And we will also be offering Zumba classes on Sundays starting April 30th. We're going to start with a half hour and we'll work up on time. And the class will be $3 to $4. So keep your eyes peeled for the link. It won't let me post it until a week before the class, but keep your eyes peeled on there, and we would love to have you.
Thank you for that. We also have an adjunct to her store. Buddy, please. By Angel Renee. She has an Etsy store where she's selling the candles, the intention candles, and tea bags. She uses herbs in these tea bags so that when you put them in your bathtub, they help you focus on your intention. So check her out. She's in the comments there as well. All right. And then I always like to acknowledge those who we like to support those who support us. Let's put it that way. So we love to acknowledge Reverend Fairy Lane's music because, you know, we do a lot of her music. And if you like it, please go to her website and pick one. You'll have to buy it by the CD. But her website isn't changeable. So she can't tell you how to pay for it. You have to actually get a hold of her by email. I'm sorry. I'm having an eye grain and I can't even see hardly. So you have to reach out to her by email, and then she travels around the country singing, and so she always carries her CDs in her car. So if you reach out to her, she will make sure that you get a CD the next day, or she'll send it out the next day. And then there's Karen Drucker, who has gifted us with her entire collection, and you can buy hers by song, by CD, by songbook, karaoke. Some of the songbook pages actually have American Sign Language in them in case you want to learn how to sign a song. But her website does work, so you can purchase it right then and there. You don't have to reach out to her. And then check out our website, oasiscsl.org. There, like I said, we're updating the website now. We're going to start having different practitioners do inspirational articles. We're going to have the practitioners, their pictures and a little bio on them and a link to their Facebook. So you can just go right there and just click on it and magically you'll get to them. In the meantime, let's do our last. Oh, also we're on YouTube and SoundCloud under S. Tucker. YouTube has the videos from the last 3 years and SoundCloud has the audio sermons from way back. So we're going to go into our closing song now.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Right now, I acknowledge the blessing that we've had to have this time together as I bless this coming week, because I do know that that energy is apparent to all of us. We know it, we feel it, we accept it, we love it. I give thanks for this knowledge and I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. Oh, I'm having a hard time seeing. Here we go. Thank you so much for being here. There's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We were blessed to have you here with us as well. Thank you, Faith, for all you do. We couldn't do this without you. I want to say to all of you, I love you very, very much. Please join us every Sunday, next Sunday in particular at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. In the meantime, stay safe, wear a mask, and we will see you next week. Bye.